want to hear it the first time I nearly died in the factory. So to back up, the Widowmaker is a bench grinder that's been modified to help sharpen knives and deburr knives. On this side we've got a little deburring wheel, which is a Scotch-Brite wheel. I use that for rounding spines all the time. The other attachment over here was a sharpening wheel, a paper wheel. And the idea behind that was that you'd actually use it to strop your edges, so you load it up with compound and you'd use it to kind of polish up the edges of your knife for sharpening. And you'll notice that wheel's gone right now. And I've actually hung it right there above the wall, so it's right above my VFD, so I constantly look at it. It's sort of a reminder to me that you can get real in the workshop in a hurry, you know? I work alone most of the time. I work a lot of late nights and I work weekends. And if something goes wrong at a time when there's nobody else here, I am responsible for my own safety, and it's my own responsibility to not bleed out and die in the factory, because that can happen real quick. So anyway, the story. So the way these wheels are used, you use them edge down and you sort of use them to polish up your knife carefully. And as long as you're paying attention and you're not distracted, they're totally safe. This was my up. Now, what was happening was I was using them, and I'd used them a long time. I had a lot of experience with the wheels and I was getting careless. On top of that, it was just when I was moving to my factory and I was very distracted. Essentially, within the first 2-3 months of moving to the factory, the money I thought was enough to move into the factory was nowhere near enough. We blew through that within maybe a month. And after that, I was essentially funding all this stuff out of my own savings. So I was very, very stressed, I was tired, and my mind just wasn't on the task. And that's when things come to bite you, that's when things get real, when you're not concentrating, you're tired and you're stressed. So I was sharpening away, and when I was sharpening, I got too aggressive with the tip, so I actually pushed the tip in and I snagged the tip. And then I heard a bang and I felt a sharp pain in my leg. And I had that moment, like, if you guys work with tools, you probably know what I mean, but every now and then you got that moment where your butthole just puckers up and you have to start checking yourself to see if you're bleeding, So I had that moment, I heard a bang, I felt the pain in my leg, and I started looking at myself, have I got on my fingers, am I bleeding, what just happened? And what I think happened, the closest guess I've got, because I don't know what happened really, it was a bang and I felt the pain in my leg, and that's all I know. The knife pulled out of my hand. I think it hit the table maybe first, I honestly don't know. But then it bounced off that, or maybe just hit me directly in the leg, but hit me in the leg without the edge, thank God. So basically the spine of the knife, or the handle of the knife, or whatever hit me in the leg, and then went down from there right in the ground. Now, it hit me with a lot of force, I had a bit of a bruise there, but luckily it wasn't the edge, luckily it wasn't the tip. Like, your femoral artery is right around that area right there, and your penis is also right there, so like, it wouldn't have been a good day, I could have been, I could have been walking around with one nut, or I could have been walking around with a knife through my femoral artery. The real scary part was the knife had enough velocity at that point to actually put a chip into my concrete. So that thing was basically flying like a bullet, so that would have been a bad day. What makes it really that it was a Saturday. There is nobody here on a Saturday. I work in an industrial estate. Basically, on a Saturday and a Sunday and public holidays, this place is empty. What makes it extra was that my phone wasn't on me. My phone was actually on the other side of the room, plugged into the speakers. So, worst case scenario, that knife would hit me in the femoral artery. If I was lucky enough to have a belt on me or to find some paracord or some tape, I would have had to tape up my leg, crawl across the room, find some way to get up onto the bench, get my phone, call the ambulance, and just sit here and try not to bleed out while the ambulance rocks up. That's a really, really bad day. That's not what you want. So since this has happened, we put some first aid kits in. There is one right under the air compressor reel, and we've got 2 first aid kits right there. We've got the booby box, on bitch box, the little band-aids like that, that's not life critical. And then we've got the armor die box. And the armor die box is essentially just all the shit that's gonna save your life, put into there. Because I figured the last thing I'd want if I've got a knife sticking through my leg is to basically look through this box and have to go through headache tablets and freaking earbuds and eye wipes and shit with a knife sticking out my leg. So in that box is only mission critical stuff to help you stay alive. And I've got some gauze pads under benches and all that sort of stuff as well, just sort of worst case scenario, I can at least wrap my leg up and not bleed out. Now, it was just sort of a moment where I got close to things getting real. I'm totally okay, nothing happened, but it was very much a lesson that I learned to sort of be safe. You always hear these stories about people, hurting themselves, losing fingers, dying in the factory. Shit can happen. It can happen real quick, So, bit of a somber video, bit of a not so happy topic, but I figured it'd be kind of cool to share. You sick wanted to hear the story, so that's the story. That's what happened. That's That's why it's called the Widowmaker. We still use the Scotch-Brite wheel on there, but the actual wheel, the sharpening wheel, we just bolted onto the wall. So anyway guys, I want to hear your stories about how things very nearly got real for you, or how things did get real for you. If it's grisly, I want to hear it. If it's not grisly, it was a close call, I want to hear it. Chuck it in the comments. I reckon it'd be kind of cool. Maybe just a safety thing, guys can read through the comments and see what's happened, what happened to guys, where maybe their own workshops are failing, what's the potential for things to go wrong. I reckon it'd be cool. Also, a huge thank you to all the new Patreon guys. I just had a whole bunch of new guys roll in, so huge thank you to those guys for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video. So I've just had the closest call I've ever had in the workshop. I was sharpening up this blade and it just went ding, caught in that, and threw it straight into the concrete. Bounced off my leg, luckily didn't hit me in the leg, like didn't stab me. It went straight into the concrete, and holy shit man, like adrenaline is just dumping into my system right now, like I'm shaking like crazy. That could very, very nearly have killed me right there. If that would have just hit me right in the femoral artery, I'd have just bled out. I mean, it's a Saturday right now, there's nobody here, I'd have just died right here in the workshop. So that's scary, man. I mean, the closest call I've ever had in my life to, shit getting real. Me, man, I'm not going to be using this buffing wheel anymore. I'm done with power buffing. That was way too close. It literally just bounced straight off my leg, and then it hit in the concrete here somewhere. I mean, I felt it hit, and I thought for a second I might have actually properly hurt myself, but fingers are all there. There's no cuts in me, and the knife is actually pretty good. All that really happened to it was it sort of messed the tip up a little bit, but hardly anything. I mean, that's not a lot to sharpen. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing this anymore. No more power sharpening. That was way too close. It's quicker, but me, man, that shit's scary. I mean, look at it, just fucking ripped up that wheel, like just like that. All right, I'm gonna go have a very strong drink. Stay safe, folks.